Hey everybody, welcome back to the Huddle, the Review.com's weekly high school football show. I'm Rob Todor, executive editor of the Alliance Review, joined as always by Mike Brown, our sports editor. And it's hard to believe, Mike, but we are starting week 8 of the high school football season. And let's change things up a little bit. Let's look ahead first before we take a look back at that Louisville-Marlington showdown.
Yeah, what a great game that's going to be. Really, these last 3 weeks of the high school football season are going to be fantastic. It's just the way it played out this year. The way the schedule plays out, the best games are the last 3 games of the year, Rob.
Yeah, Louisville off to a great start. Of course, they're 7-0 and 4-0 in the NBC. Marlington 6-1. They're only lost to an undefeated Poland team in the opener. So the Dukes have been on a roll for the last month and a half as well. Really, Louisville defensively has really been coming on, and that's going to be, I think, the showdown there, the challenge for Louisville's defense against Marlington's great run offense.
Right, and Sean Kirk's having a great year as quarterback for Marlington. You know, he's got that experience coming back, and that's going to be a fantastic game. Just the atmosphere of that game on Friday night in Louisville should be a packed house, should be an electric atmosphere. That's what high school sports is all about.
Yeah. Well, last week Louisville prepped for this game with a nice victory over Minerva, 31-7, and held the Lions' very good offense to under 100 total yards in that game. And Marlington, 74 points they put up against Salem. They gave up 32, but that's kind of been the Quakers' MO more than anything.
Right.
West Branch gets its first win of the year. We can't go without talking about the Warriors getting a really great win for them, 24-21 over Carrollton.
And you got to be happy that really that is a West Branch JV team as far as experience in youth that's been playing a varsity schedule this year, Rob, because 19 of the 22 starters are underclassmen come back next year. And West Branch has been playing basically with their third quarterback because they lost their first 2 quarterbacks before the first game. And Bryce Butcher's come in and, he was a starting receiver and was moved back to quarterback then and has done a great job. He threw for over 180 yards last week, and they got a win. So happy for them to get a win.
Yeah. Alliance keeps on rolling. They looked pretty good. I was at the Alliance-Can South game, and they defeat Can South 35-21. The big play capability of the Aviators. You may have them stopped, and Can South did a really good job in the second and third quarters. But Alliance got out to a quick start. They had a long kickoff return that set up an easy score for them, and then the fourth quarter they kind of dominated, scoring a couple of touchdowns. But that big play capability, you can't discount that.
Right, and that's it's so important for Alliance. You may stop them, and bang, they've hit an 80-yard run, and before you know it, you're down by 2 or 3 scores.
Yeah, their first touchdown was just a simple swing pass to Parrish Martin, and he got a couple blocks and was just gone.
Absolutely.
So their big play capability is really impressive. Now that takes care of the NBC. In the ITCL, Sebring, another tough outing. They lose to Wellsville 42-7, and Sebring is now down to 2-5 overall. They've lost 4 in a row. And it doesn't get any easier for them this week. They've got Western Reserve at home, and the Blue Devils are just rolling along.
Oh, they are. And if you look at their computer point total, Rob, I think you and I have talked about this. They actually would have enough points to be either leading a region in Division 3 or 2. They have that many points, and they're a Division 7 school. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
Yeah, and Western Reserve defeated Lowville, who came into that game last week at 5-1. Wellsville dominated that game 36-7. So the Blue Devils really playing well. Let's hope they stay injury-free because I think they can make a deep run in the playoffs.
Definitely.
Tier 1, United defeated Lisbon 40-7. Got the Eagles back on the winning side. They're 3-4 overall. Probably not going to make the playoffs this year. And they've got a tough game at home against Crestview on Friday night.
It's amazing, and that is a good United football team. They had a lot. I think they had all 22 starters coming back from last year, but they have played a murderous schedule this year. And I think United, anybody that takes United doesn't take them seriously is in trouble because they have a good talent. That's a good football team that's just played a really tough schedule.
In the Portage Trail Conference, Southeast took it on the chin to Garrettsville Garfield. A little bit of an upset there, I think, 24-21. And Waterloo faced Norden, a very good Norden team that's now 6-1, and they lost 48-14. Now, Waterloo doesn't get any easier for the Vikings. They have to travel to Woodridge, who's off to a great start. Woodridge is 5-2, and they're 3-0 in the league. And Southeast gets a bit of a break on paper anyway. They play host to Rootstown, who's looking for their first win. The one game, too, that we want to mention is St. Thomas. A little surprising that they lost to Akron Garfield last week.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me. Yet St. Tom's still sitting good. I think if they win out, they're going to be in the playoffs. In fact, if they win 2 of their last 3, I think they're still going to make the play. That's where going to 7 divisions this year, Rob, has really helped. We have 5 teams holding playoff spots, and I am pretty confident those 5 are still going to be able to hold them the next 3 weeks, and we might even have a 6th. Depending on how Alliance does here. So we've got 5, and I think we're going to have 5 in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a great last 3 weeks of the regular season. We're looking forward to it. We're going to have coverage of all the games this week, previews throughout the week. Of course, coverage in Saturday's Alliance Review. We'll have video on thereview.com. We'll have live scoring updates on thereview.com, so make sure you check us out there Friday night while the games are going on. And of course, we invite you to take part in the Pigskin Picks contest where you can win some great weekly prizes. And you can follow along in Gridiron Guesswork. Mike dominated last week and has a big lead. And so we'll see if we can catch up this week. So until then, for Mike Brown, this is Rob Todor. We'll see you at the game on Friday night.